European LCS, Fnatic winning a game against, the #1 Korean team. So they're coming off a very big high, and it's going to be a lot about have Team Liquid been able to rebound and what Fnatic are going to look like after their victory.
And we were all talking in the caster lounge earlier and kind of joking around about once it came down to this game, since this is the last game of the day, what would both of these teams' mental be like as you hit that final game of the day based on what the first games looked like? And you can't come off of a much bigger high than taking down Kingzone. And for Team Liquid, there's got to be frustrations with how poorly the first few games have gone as well. So we'll see that difference potentially in that manifest itself, or if Team Liquid has the strong mental game, we'll see if they can pull it out.
So we have Gravespan obviously setting up a potential Trundle first pick for Fnatic.
Yep.
Ezreal ban on the side of Team Liquid is interesting. It's of course been a big thing during the tournament, but it's actually been one of the least favorite AD carries when it comes to Rekkles. He's been forced to play it a few times in the EULCS when there were like 5 AD carry bans, but he's never seemed to like it. With this build, of course, there's a bit more late game power. I still think though he wants to play things like a Tristana over Ezreal. Also what we saw against Kingzone.
Yeah, as far as the tournament meta, you'd be like, oh, the Team Liquid bans are fine. Those are expected bans. But as far as Rekkles
they take it
bans,
from him.
both those 2 AD carries are not what you expect. Here we go, though. Tristana is taken away, as you said. The Trundle, I feel like, is a really good first pick and well orchestrated by Fnatic to force Team Liquid here into a little bit more of the pressure for the early game. Is Xmithie, is Team Liquid going to coordinate for those invades? Are they going to try and get that advantage?
Not a standard pick for him though with Olaf here. The first time he gets to play.
That's why I'm saying it's a well orchestrated early ban phase here from Fnatic to force Team Liquid into this.
Well, Team Liquid will go with that Olaf into Trundle matchup, just like we saw last game. Kind of that whole thing you guys talked about then.
Rekkles.
But Rekkles will pick himself up the Sivir.
I was about to mention potential rage play AD carries he could go for and try and really abuse a super strong mid game against the Tristana, but he's always favored Sivir. Even when other players do not want to play it, if you go far enough down the list, he will grab it for himself. He's like, okay, the laning phase, I can just perma-shove it in, and then late game, he can become this huge carry. We saw it, of course, in the EULCS finals where he got pentakills on a Sivir, and it's something he's just always gone back to if he felt like he needed to carry in the late game.
Well, this is the first Sivir this tournament, so we'll see if Rekkles can make a great debut on this champion he enjoys playing so much. He will be playing it with quite a hefty front line, not just that Trundle that we already saw, but now the Sion also locked in here for Fnatic as Team Liquid decide to grab the Alistar for themselves before the second wave of bans come through.
Yeah, it seems like a very Fnatic lineup here. You have your
yes.
Sivir for Rekkles. They're going to have one of the premier tanks in the top lane for Bwipo. Bwipo looks so good on the Ornn earlier. Now they're going to have him on the Sion, and he should have, a decent showing up there. Even though, Impact, everyone always talks about his tank play. That should be pretty even.
I think that's just the biggest change, or one of the biggest changes for Fnatic coming into the games today. It's not the Swain Vladimir top for Bwipo, it is just the tank. You can play around Caps and the bot lane. The Alistar pick, however, is pretty huge here for Team Liquid. It's very good against Sivir because it's so hard for her to spell shield the engage from an Alistar when it comes in with 2 abilities at the same time. And then he can also stay on top of her. She doesn't have any dashes to then stun her right after when his E is fully stacked. So this tells me that Team Liquid are getting ready to force some plays around that bottom side against Rekkles.
This is also kind of a throwback. Olleh, when he was on Immortals and had his MVP split, a lot of it was Alistar or Bard roaming around the map and creating plays elsewhere. Since he was paired with DoubleLift, everyone was like, well, he's gonna have to focus more on lane phase now, much more, for the bottom lane. But if they've been trying other things and he, kind of wanted to do something different, they might actually have some openings as well for him to roam, not just for the laning phase power of the combos.
So with these second parts of the bans coming through now, Team Liquid very concerned with how much protection Hylissang can give to Rekkles here as they ban out 2 of the more defensive supports, the Janna and the Tahm Kench, both taken away, while Fnatic will focus the solo lanes, getting rid of Ornn and Vladimir.
Yeah, it's pretty smart because they have a lot of ways of reaching that backline already. Top lane wise, like Cho'Gath is still available, and with the Ornn ban, he just seems to be the go-to choice against the Sion here. Just gives him a little bit more threat against tanks.
Oh.
There it is again.
Now, Caps looks so good, so clean, so quick on the Yasuo. Even though they did lose that game, I was definitely impressed.
And he's He's going to show Pobelter. He's like, all right, you locked it in earlier today. Let me show you how the Yasuo is played. Plus, he's got 3 different teammates that can provide the knockups.
And people might think it's crazy that we have these blind pick Yasuos, but of the current mid laners, none of them actually counter Yasuo specifically, so you can take him. You have to go out of your way to find something completely untraditional if you want to find a little niche counter pick to use against it. So we can clearly see here that both Caps and earlier today Team Liquid, they're fine taking it blind.
And as someone from NA, this is what I like to see from Team Liquid. You're putting Pobelter back on a champion that he's known for playing well, that fits his play style better, that fits Team Liquid as a whole's play style better. Being on this Azir matches up much better with him than being on something like the Yasuo, and we'll see how well he does with it up against that pick.
Yeah, he has to watch out for the combination. Trundle pillar into Yasuo ultimate. All you need is a little bump to be able to trigger a Yasuo ultimate, and Trundle pillar is one of the best use cases for that because it's long range and you don't really have to commit to it. So we may be seeing some of that interaction as well.
Oh, for sure. But it's pure grouped together as 5 for Team Liquid. It's how they won a lot of games back in North America. Try and run at the enemy team with some decent engage coming from the Alistar. But if this Yasuo gets ahead, he goes to that side lane and Azir will never stop him.
So we've got a hard carry for DoubleLift. We've got a roaming potential support for Olleh. We've got a tank for Impact. We've got Pobelter on a champion he's known for. We heard in the interview and in the analyst desk discussion before this game that we wanted to see the Team Liquid that we've seen play during this split show up now. This looks much more like that team.
But that's where I got disappointed last game they played with the Yasuo pick, because that's not the standard Team Liquid. They could have gone for a normal mage in the mid lane and had a much better composition to try and beat Flash Wolves.
Well, we got to jump on this early game because Team Liquid with an Alistar and an Olaf should be looking, for an early invade to try and get some wards down at least to see where the early jungle routes are going to go. If not, go for an aggressive play.
And I'm talking about Team Liquid being on champions you'd expect them to be on, but Fnatic, they've also got plenty of power picks up their sleeve.
Yeah, they've grouped up, and again, talking about power packs early, they have, they're actually just charging through with the Braum. I was going to say the Braum definitely brings a lot of power to the level 1s, and they're going to use that to make their own early invade here.
Oh, wait, they're now on the other side. All of Team Liquid around. Normally you see, the team is just fanning out, step away, saying, okay, fine, we go into your jungle, but Team Liquid, they want to fight this one.
Fnatic just sort of doing the do-si-do around here with Team Liquid, but they'll find themselves stuck now between a Liquid and a hard place. We'll see if they can get themselves away. Bwipo down below half HP. Rupture comes through, gonna force the flash away from that Sion. That's an immobile top laner now without an escape mechanism.
This is how I want to see EU versus NA start out, baby.
Level 1.
Full-on invade. Let's switch slides here. Oh, we're gonna come back.
Here we go again. I was talking to Shox back in the caster lounge before these games happened earlier, and she said the EU versus NA games always have the crazy stuff happen in them. The rivalry being on the line makes all the players want to step up and be that big playmaker, but nothing too crazy just yet.
Okay, I for sure thought we were going to have the big fight, but we saw all the Fnatics away from this one. Bwipo did have to use his flash, so I guess small win for Team Liquid.
Right. We'll see if they can make anything out of that, if Xmithie can come up there and pay him a visit.
But Fnatic have full vision of this Olaf start here for Xmithie. So, Fnatic are going to be able to kind of track him as the game does go on. Xmithie does have the early tempo advantage, though, on Broxah, because Fnatic obviously had to take the long walk back home since they were on the opposite side of the map, and Xmithie is going to be able to get 2 camps done before Broxah is able to roam over to his blue side.
So early push as well for DoubleLift down the bottom lane. I mean, they're just slightly before Fnatic's bot lane showed up. We'll get level 2 after this melee minion dies, but of course Fnatic staying near the turret. No chance of an all-in, so crazy start. Could have suddenly been a bunch of kills, ends up just being a summoner, and a bit of a CS advantage for Team Liquid.
A crazy start with a mild result. Both teams hoping for a little bit more, but nobody being set drastically far behind early on. We'll see how Xmithie decides to spend his time after clearing out this red buff, because remember, the Olaf does do exceptionally well clearing when he has that lower HP, but Broxah also on the top side of the map, recognizing that his top laner is the most desirable gank target right now for Team Liquid, hanging out up here, making sure he's ready.
Yeah, Xmithie just goes for the power clear here on Olaf. With the blue buff, he can finish off the Krugs very quickly as well. But the early Scuttle Crab was taken by Broxah there, so dipping into the river for a little bit of extra vision and getting the gold as well. Meanwhile, because Bwipo is getting pushed in, there's no chance for his flash to be punished right now. That one being down, and Xmithie's just going to go for the recall. He'll pick up some boots, and you can look to use an early Predator, maybe on the other side of the map, or at least control the Scuttle Crab. Pobelter also going to do some jungle tracking for his compatriot.
Yep, he'll keep track of that Raptor camp as well as take away the Scryers. Bloom, so his opponents can't use it to their own advantage. Bwipo taken down to about 100 HP up here. Impact really owning this lane.
Yeah, that makes you think that, you know, if Xmithie had actually stuck around on the top side, there being no flash on Sion, they might have been able to go for a dive, but because he did not, the recall is going to get off. Teleport will just reset here, and no harm, no foul.
Yeah, Bwipo loses, what, 2, maybe 3 creeps from that? No, not even 3. He'll just lose the first couple of them, get himself back there. He is behind slightly in farm, but he'll take that early on for staying safe.
Yeah, decent lead there for Impact on the Cho'Gath. He's going to feel very confident about that, and the jungle tracking does continue as Xmithie reveals his position, going to put that ward on Krugs and makes a visit mid.
While bottom side, it's DoubleLift under some pressure here. Hylissang looking to go in on this one, drop the ignite damage, comes through. DoubleLift walking away, but still first blooded by the Fnatic bottom lane. Olleh now in some trouble, 1 versus 2. Needs to walk himself away from this one rather quickly.
Oh man, this was not the bot lane we were looking for Sivir to suddenly pick up a bunch of kills, but it's actually an all-in from Fnatic. Yes, Hylissang managed to get the first blood for himself, but it goes over and in favor of Europe. Broxah is now around. Olleh does flash, so he shouldn't be able to, of course, force anything extra here. Xmithie was just warding up the enemy jungle, then he walks into mid. No one expects the all-in, but let's see what happens with the trade.
Yeah, so Olleh uses his Pulverize there and the E as well, so they know that those are not going to be down to try and protect him. DoubleLift right next to that minion. Hylissang was able to get up in his face, land the stun with the ignite, taking the kill.
Yeah, so 2 things, as you highlighted there. Combo being used by Alistar, he's not going to add any value then, and also DoubleLift just holding on to his jump for quite a while. He even saw the Braum jump to him and could have instantly tried to disengage away. But then suddenly he starts getting stacked there with the passive, and the stun comes in, and Fnatic's bot lane get the first bot. They had to use every single summoner though, so I need to see if Xmithie can actually go down and try and do something.
They used every single summoner, but Team Liquid also using 3 out of 4 of their own. So a slight disadvantage there. Should still be worth it to get themselves the first blood. 39 to 44 CS, so pretty close farm there as well. Up in the top side, Impact still maintains a lead for himself, but Broxah wants to come in and help Bwipo out a bit here. Decimating Smash not going to find a lot of success. Impact forced to flash away after a well-placed pillar from Broxah.
Again, if we revisit the bottom side play though, you know, the way that this game opening with the 2v2 kill there for Fnatic, you have to keep in mind the circumstances of this tournament and them swapping out support and what has really gone into kind of the mental state of this Team Liquid bottom lane. That's definitely not going to help things.
Oh no. Worst kind of start here.
Especially for a guy like DoubleLift.
Tough start for Team Liquid's bottom lane. Meanwhile, in mid, it's just even farm between Caps and Pobelter. Of course, when you play the Yasuo, specifically, you just want to rush towards your PD and your IH so fast. And once you complete those 2 items, that's where we really start seeing Yasuo players just take over the game. We saw Caps play this yesterday. Great success. Bunch of solo kills against Yahoo and RNG. Pobelter, of course, tried the same, and it is fun because these teams have been scrimming each other coming into the tournament. Very clearly, Yasuo has been a big deal in these scrims, which is why Pobelter tried it.
Try is the key word here because he did not find much success at all on the champion. Constantly found himself picked off. Wasn't able to get the item spikes he needed quickly enough.
Oh, look at mid lane. Impact is here.
This Impact wants to find his way onto Caps. Good sidestep there from the Fnatic mid laner, making sure he stays away from that CC. Not even forced to blow a summoner spell here.
Yeah, 3-person visit there, ending up being in the end. No Predator was available for Xmithie though, so he kind of only got to go as a viewer. He has also picked up a Relic Shield, by the way. This is something that we had started to see.
But I want to see this bot lane fight. Come on, Xmithie, get down there.
Olleh flashing forward, able to find the headbutt into the Pulverize. Rekkles looking to get out of this one. Remember, Summoner Spell's not available, could be punished. Olleh grabbing the kill onto Rekkles, as now Hylissang will not be able to escape either. One more auto attack seals the deal, and DoubleLift puts the money in his pocket.
This is exactly what we talked about just a minute ago. All the summoners used from Fnatic to get the first blood. It sets up suddenly an easy answer for Team Liquid as long as Xmithie moves down there. And he walked down the river. You see the engage from an Alistar. You can't spell shield it because the spell shield blocks the W when Alistar comes in, and then you just get knocked up right after.
And not only him, but look at the minimap. Bwipo ends up walking down here too, and he has no teleport, so that's going to be a bigger lead for Cho'Gath. But here's the engage. They all in on Rekkles, absolutely just crush him down on the Sivir. As you said, there's no escapes for him because they used their summoners offensively previously.
And now it just ends up hurting Fnatic that they went so aggressive for the kill. They should have stayed away from that river here, just trying to play it as passive as possible. But Team Liquid, huge play on their side.
And there is going to be a big difference in these tanks. Not all tanks are created equal. Impact has a very big CS lead on this Cho'Gath and is going to bring that true damage feast to not only the team fights, but even the banner minion wars.
Another thing also with the AD carry items. Before it was pickaxe versus tier 2 boots from Rekkles. Looked like he was just going to farm up for a BF sword on his side, go back and get it. But because he just died, his bag is double longsword and another dagger. And DoubleLift is the one who gets even more attack damage on his side, so more things going in favor of Team Liquid. They can look for another play, because we've just seen that the Sivir can't really stop the Alistar engage.
And they can handle that 2v2 a bit better this time than last time up against Rekkles and Hylissang, who are still maintaining pretty close in terms of the farm, but DoubleLift maintains that small lead that he had earlier as well.
They've got the lane push. They're also clearing out all of the vision around bottom lane for Team Liquid here. Hex Flash has been taken by Olleh on the Alistar, so when they get brush priority, it means a tremendous amount here for Fnatic. If they don't see Xmithie on the map, they have to completely respect any Team Liquid bottom side play, as those have been very, very effective as far as the last visit from Xmithie with his Predator and Flash both being up.
And it's a very tough spot now for Fnatic because mid lane is getting pushed in by Pobelter. Xmithie is constantly walking around in jungle on the bottom side. And Fnatic don't really have a winning lane anywhere. The top lane is the Cho'Gath controlling it. The bot lane is, of course, the Tristana and the Alistar. So at the moment, Fnatic are just kind of waiting and hoping they can farm up someone like Caps because they can't really force any aggressive plays, at least not safely.
And even if they're waiting on Caps to farm up, he's doing a good job so far. He's got the CS lead over Pobelter's Azir. You talked about how he really wants that 2-item spike as quickly as possible to start making those plays and be that split push threat that they could need.
Yeah, and he might just be the big win condition for them again. So if they are ganking a lane, it could be mid with the Trundle pillar. They are looking bottom side. They finally regain some control after it's Caps' turn to push in the lane. And that's kind of the thing. The mid lanes just keep trading who gets to push. And that's the team who gets control.
Since Fnatic just got the push, they're the ones who also could start up this dragon. They jump right on it, and they're actually taking it down fairly quickly, especially with some control wards in the river. There's no sight from Team Liquid.
Xmithie wants to walk up, but he can barely throw an axe into the mix as Pobelter goes over the wall just as Bwipo would have arrived. Gets himself out of that danger, but it is one Drake going over to the side of Fnatic.
Nice play here from Fnatic. After Caps gets to push in, just like yesterday against RNG, the Trundle and the Yasuo together. They're the two members who can be aggressive and try and get some advantage over on Fnatic's side.
Yeah, it's such a powerful duo. You can take on almost all opponents. Because of the synergy between the Trundle pillar and the ultimate, you have a long engage range, plus Trundle ultimate shredding down anyone, and oh, never mind.
Oh, Pobelter going in on this one, wants to throw Caps back with the Shurima shuffle. Xmithie and Olleh wanting to come in here as well. Your Unstoppable comes out for Xmithie, but Caps saves the flash to get himself away.
Always love the mind games on when do you flash here as Caps, because you see Olleh comes in and he also wants to wait with his combo because he knows if Caps uses flash early, then he can easily combo him. He's stuck, he will die. But both members saving it for as long as possible, and then Caps gets to flash away.
Also good use of the minions there. Some smooth ease from Caps to get himself out of the initial progress there that Team Liquid had made in the middle of the lane and buy some time for himself to be able to escape.
Good roam though, a nice gank from Xmithie. Forcing that flash. You can now see on the minimap it's Team Liquid getting control back on the bottom side. Again, they keep just trading between the teams. That could open up for a play around the mid lane against the no-flash Yasuo if they can move the Alistar in there again.
Olleh thinking about moving through the enemy jungle to set down some vision, but realizes there's quite a few people off the map right now. Doesn't want to take the risk of going any further than he was. Throws the ward down along the backside of the Drake pit as Xmithie and Pobelter will move up, put some wards down up near those raptors as well as they look to steal them away. Broxah comes in, does have the smite available, but won't find success there. Xmithie and Pobelter get out.
Yeah, full focus on vision of the bottom half of the map for Team Liquid. DoubleLift and Olleh continually clearing out the wards on bottom side. Xmithie invading, but another roam from Bwipo mid.
They find the knock-up onto Xmithie, who does not have the ultimate to get himself away. Xmithie barely alive, still trying to walk out of that one, but Cap says no! Cuts him down.
So with all the wards on bottom side, it actually allows the Sion to walk down from his own lane. Ulti's still on cooldown, so he just walks to mid. And suddenly, Fnatic can actually make a play. And small plays like this is suddenly how you can turn the favor towards you.
Yeah, and even though Bwipo definitely heavily down in CS, Impact not really communicating with the rest of the team, not having the presence there from the top side, and Bwipo making a big difference. Now, though, he's roaming down.
Impact could potentially do a lot of damage here to Caps, but also has to walk out. Gonna be chugging around and beaten down. Bwipo grabs himself the kill. As Pobelter is now CC'd, and he'll face the same fate. Shurima shuffle gets him away for just a moment. Olleh here on peel, duty to keep his mid laner alive, but it's nothing but success right now for Fnatic.
Yeah, Impact was getting a big, CS lead 1 versus 1. However, as far as the map play is concerned, Bwipo definitely the one with the big advantage.
Yeah, I think Impact most likely expected Bwipo to go back to base and not actually walk all the way down to mid lane without ulti ready. But then after, TL, with only 2 players alive on that side, the Azir and the Cho'Gath, still decides to walk in and try and fight the 3 Fnatic players. Greedy call, and he got punished, and now Xmithie.
Xmithie again, maybe in some trouble here. Has the Ragnarok available, uses it to block the knockup, doesn't want to be caught up in the Yasuo ultimate. Throws out another axe on his way out, but his low HP means he doesn't want any more of this fight.
We started a little roam, too, as well. Olleh is headed behind the turret, possibly, to take down Caps. DoubleLift heading back to the minion wave on bottom.
Which is what we wanted to see against the no-flash Yasuo. Caps seems to realize that support is missing.
Pobelter very far forward as well. Caps likely detecting that this is something a little bit funny. Let's take another look at the play that happened here in the river.
Yeah, this was Impact here coming to try and stop this Rift Herald, but getting himself into a very bad situation.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the call is, hey, Olleh is on his way to stall him a little bit and take the fight, but there you gotta respect that 3 members are still alive on Fnatic's side. And you see some numbers from Caps. Currently one of the best performing members here at MSI.
Damn fine numbers from Caps. First in everything except damage percentage, and even then, he's sitting at a cozy 2nd place. He's been having a great performance so far. Even though his team is only 1-2, remember that one victory was against Kingzone. The 2 losses on the first day, they seem to have moved past some of the issues they had there and are looking pretty strong here on day number 2. They do have about a 600 gold lead at the time being. And
the kill participation there being the highest, 92%, that's a really interesting thing and big deal for Caps, because it really shows how he's been the main carry. He's been the one who's been involved in absolutely everything they do. It's not gank bot lane 24/7, it's go around mid, make plays around mid. The Sion pick from Bwipo is something he's done before when he gets to play it. It's been so effective, also trying to set Caps further ahead, and it's just showing that Fnatic are moving towards him as the main carry.
Hylissang will take some damage from DoubleLift here as he and Rekkles pass through the area. Broxah hanging around the bottom part of the map, going to find Xmithie there in the river, drops down the pillar. Will be a brief 1v1 between these two, but with Caps making his way down as well.
Interesting.
Xmithie doesn't want to stick around from this one. Rekkles will blow the ultimate there. He's completely out of mana, so no more follow-up. Everybody walks away.
State of the game is very interesting right now because there are 2 points that want to be contested. A very heavily damaged turret up top side from Team Liquid, or on Team Liquid's side. Fnatic could try and grab some first turret bonus, but a dragon spawn right now and another Cloud Drake would give so much move speed for Fnatic later in this game.
And earlier we talked about how both mid laners were kind of trading. You're pushing now, so you get control. Now it's my turn to push it back, and I get control. At the moment, because Caps has gotten his PD, he's getting a bunch of AD on his side as well. He's picked up a kill. Like, he is now fully controlling that mid lane. Pobelter is having to sit pretty far back and just catching the wave, and that's really giving Fnatic control of the bottom side for a lot longer than we saw earlier in the game.
Team Liquid does not want to give this Drake away for free. Broxah is taken very low, but DoubleLift is caught out and beaten down, flashes and can't get himself away. It's Drake going over to the side of Fnatic. They've already found a single kill. They're looking to make it even more. Cap's going to be finding the ultimate. There in the middle is impacted. Olleh will absorb some of the damage, but Team Liquid is absolutely routed. Fnatic finds 2 kills. They find the Drake. They'll look for even more. Hylissang over the wall is going to be shuffled back into the turret of Team Liquid. He'll give over a kill back but it is still a victory here for the Europeans.
Hylissang got so hyped after this team fight because, you know, him waiting in the brush, he completely stun locks DoubleLift so that there were no options for him getting out, and they get this huge advantage by taking out the AD carry without him being able to do any damage. Then it gets a little, you know, happy there at the end for the follow.
Well, we just talked about how it's Fnatic controlling mid now with caps, so they're the ones with control in this river. That's why DoubleLift, he doesn't really see what's going on when he walks into the river. He doesn't know exactly where Fnatic are, if they're already at the Drake or not, and that's why he ends up face checking and he dies. So Team Liquid gets a very poor start walking into the Dragon area itself, and they end up just completely losing the fight because, of course, the AD carry is gone instantly. And this is a very classic Hylissang play. He wants to follow with the flash. He thinks maybe there's one more kill to get. Side for him, there's also an Azir and a Feast.
Oh, you hate to see it. Impact grabs himself that kill, gets himself a little bit more money to go along with that CS lead we were talking about earlier. Has Abyssal Mask and the Ninja Tabby, so working on becoming that big meatball that Team Liquid will need in the front line, especially now that Fnatic has themselves a 1,500 gold lead.
Well, they're going to try and pull their own brush trap here against Fnatic, but nobody going to go and face check that one for their side. Now, this brings up again, well, actually, they're sending more people down. Pobelter making a roam over a ward.
But he being seen like that gives it away as to exactly what they're up to here. Rekkles and Hylissang going to fall back from this. They don't want to be caught out, and this means that Liquid are investing a lot of resources for no kills, but they should still grab the turret while Broxah gets himself the script turret.
Yeah, even though their top turret is so low, they're going to be able to get the first turret bonus gold here because Fnatic kind of split. They're doing the Rift Herald at the same time. Now, Fnatic should be able to answer and grab that top turret eventually, as well as the Rift Herald, but Team Liquid were able to jump on the bonus.
It's quite funny that Rekkles used his blue trinket on the lane ward in the bot lane, so he didn't actually realize if they were still sitting in that tri-bush and how many would be there. It wasn't until they saw Pobelter walk over a ward they ran away from the turret. So it could maybe have been a bit more for Team Liquid, but obviously it's impossible for them to know exactly where Fnatic's vision would be. They get the bot lane turret, that's exactly what they came for, but as you highlighted, Kobe, they end up losing a bit more on the top side.
They lose their tier 1 turret topside, as well as giving away the red buff. Not quite as important as a turret, but having that on caps will provide some extra out-of-combat regeneration, as well as giving him the slow and the damage tick that will accompany all the damage he's already putting out now that he's hit that 2-item spike you were talking about earlier, Deficio.
Yeah, this is bad news when it happens at 20 minutes that his Yasuo is now sitting with IH completed as well, kill, 2 assist on his side. No one can stop him 1v1. Caps will look for more fights together with Broxah. It's the same combination. Trundle pillar goes up, engage happens.
Also worth pointing out, though, that there are 2 items available on Pobelter, including the Zhonya's Hourglass. Olleh taking some heavy damage here early on. Going to go ahead, pop the ultimate. Wants to get himself away from this one, as they're also going to be taking a lot of damage here onto Xmithie. Olleh drops Xmithie, tries to flash. Devastating Smash comes through. He's stunned up, knocked down. DoubleLift in some trouble. Caps looking to run him down. Xmithie still barely escaping. Caps gets the damage onto DoubleLift. 3 dead for Team Liquid.
Because Cap stole the red buff from Team Liquid earlier, he is able to finally get that kill with the Ignite damage as well, and this is going to be a 21-minute Baron from Fnatic.
Baron at 21 minutes into the game is not what Liquid needed to happen if they wanted to find the win here, but Fnatic is just doing exactly what they want to do, fight after fight. They are winning this time around. They are taking control over the entire game. 3,000 gold up now. Rift Herald in position mid lane. Everybody's getting themselves back to shop. And it's just success after success here for this team. I can't stop saying it enough. This looks so different from day one.
Definitely true for Fnatic here. Team Liquid, they're the ones trying to, again, force some fights like this replay.
Acer replay coming in right now to show you exactly how they got it done.
Because right now, there's no TP in the bottom lane, and Fnatic, they have Bwipo topside already. Obviously, he was out of vision when the fight started, but Team Liquid wanted to secure a turret. It's a walking in behind and get basically surprised that so many Fnatic players are already top lane, and Bwipo is not sitting bot. Caps, of course, comes in, and that little red buff.
Yeah, I feel like Team Liquid have done a very poor job of keeping track of Bwipo. They have, as you said, no way for Impact to join this, yet they force a fight behind the turret of Fnatic, force a fight on the opposite side of the map, and Bwipo is up there, so Fnatic pushing through with all 5 members. We're able to get a huge advantage there, and now they've got Baron buff to push with.
Team Liquid, 3,000 gold down, 5 kills behind. They've got the turret advantage, but they're also down 2 Cloud Drakes. Makes it that much harder to keep up on rotations. and they have to deal with all these Baron buffs. Impact will move down to try to clear out some of the minions, but they're not that easy to clear anymore. Not with Bwipo standing right next to him, and Caps will provide another threat all the way across the map.
Yeah, you have this Fed Yasuo level 15 top lane with the Baron buff as well. Broxah is around in case a fight happens. Pobelter realizing, okay, he can't go for it. There's no information on the enemy jungler. And right now, Team Liquid going to push very far back on the map.
Some Hylissang mid lane, trying to apply some pressure here onto the tier 2. They will expend the Braum ultimate there, but it buys them enough time for Broxah and Caps to grab the tier 2 in the top lane as well. This is what you want to see from Fnatic. They get the Baron, they apply the pressure, but now, can they get these guys out? Xmithie wants to go in, pops the Ragnarok, puts some damage down, but it's him who's going to be taken incredibly low. Shurima Shuffle able to find both. Caps grabs the kill onto Xmithie as he dies. A 1-for-1 for Fnatic from so much investment.
Yeah, not only a 1-for-1, but they're also pushing the rest of the map, and they're about to destroy Team Liquid's base, both bottom and mid under fire.
Even Liquid's victories feel hollow here as Rekkles may be caught out. Will be knocked up into the air, has to flash away, gets himself out on the hunt, also used. Bottom lane turret will go down with one more shot from the bannered up Baron minion, and that means the base is now vulnerable.
And even in that 2v4, a kill for Caps, I think he actually managed to dodge the all-in with his own ulti being used to buy just slightly more time before all the CC, of course, connected onto him. You can't really stay alive for long if you are in that situation as a Yasuo, but them getting all the turrets is everything they wanted. And this Infernal Drake, I don't think Fnatic are too sad to see it go over to Team Liquid.
It's a small light shining in the darkness for Team Liquid, but it's kind of just like a flashlight on half battery. It'll maybe help out a little bit later, but right now things are looking more like this.
So that's a 2v4 on top lane here. Caps blocks the first axe, gets a bit of damage down, and here the all-in comes in from the Alistar. He jumped up at the same time, but obviously doesn't really matter in the end, except for the kill onto Xmithie.
Yeah, I feel like Xmithie almost trying to hide in the nameplates of all the other champions.
Hoping
he doesn't cue at him.
He couldn't quite pull it off, though. This Olaf, remember, when you use Ragnarok, you lose the bonus resistances of the passive from the ability, and he doesn't exactly have a lot of resistances anyway. Yeah, you've got Ninja Tabby, you've got Zeke's Convergence, but you're still going to get cut down by this Fed of a Yasuo.
Sure, and I mean, the problem is also, Team Liquid, they take the early Tristana, they want to take it away from Rekkles, they want to get a big carry on double for the late game. Like, he's just completed the third item now, and we've had so many fights already. But it's not between the AD carries, it's all around the Yasuo specifically for Fnatic. And then it's Team Liquid who's tried to force some team fights on their side that's been answered by Bwipo and the rest of Fnatic. And then suddenly it's Caps getting the kills, he's now split pushing, and he's just dealing so much more damage than the Azir on the other side. So it doesn't even matter that the two AD carries are trying to scale into late game. Caps, he wants to finish it before we get there.
Fnatic are trying to push here into this mid lane inhibitor turret. They know it's incredibly low. They want to try to put that one in the dirt while they still have the opportunity to. Bottom lane inhibitor is exposed, remember. The minion wave took care of the last couple bits of health on that as Fnatic made the retreat last time. We'll see how they want to approach sieging this base. 26 minutes in, 8,000 gold ahead of Team Liquid. Just inches to go on this remaining inhibitor turret middle. Olleh tries to utilize the Hex Flash there, doesn't really find too much of anything.
Well, did they actually just try and be a little threat in case Rekkles wanted to step forward and give the turret one hit? It could have been a potential play.
Right.
But obviously Fnatic are not going to do that. Bwipo starts to recall though.
Bwipo knocked up into the air, but remember, that's a very tanky Sion. Olleh walks himself out. Nothing really expended by either side there. Bwipo's health bar, you can see it doesn't even have any dents in it any longer thanks to the Warmog's armor that he picked up. Means he'll regenerate anything that doesn't kill him. And Fnatic will back off for now. They know Baron's going to be coming up in just under 2 minutes here. They've got time. They own the map. They can take control over this area. They can set up the vision. They can ensure that once this spawns, they can use their lead and immediately grab it.
Yeah, Team Liquid have been trapped inside their own base for so long there. They're just now trying to venture out and get some defensive vision down through their own jungle to allow them a path even to go contest the Baron.
And the one positive for Team Liquid is the fact that DoubleLift, he has been able to farm. He's gotten 3 items on Tristana. He is the main carry on this team. And if there's a way for them to stall beyond the next Baron, not just lose the next team fight and then the entire game, there is more time for him to get further into the late game, and that really is the only win condition for Team Liquid right now. So it's all the focus on DoubleLift.
I also want to point out that Caps has an hourglass, well, not an hourglass, a stopwatch in his inventory, looking to build towards the Guardian Angel next, most likely. But that could be a big difference in the next team fight if he's able to go in with the last breath. But he won't even need to if they can find impact like this. A very questionable flash that'll lead him nowhere but back to the spawn platform anyway. 1 kill over to Fnatic means it's time to push.
Yeah, and he did see them push in the bottom lane, and the entire goal for Team Liquid was just to try and stall. You don't need your top laner walking forward and getting caught out there.
You won't stall anything like this. 2 inhibitors at once under siege as the crowd erupts with chants for Fnatic. They'll take over the base of Team Liquid, get themselves out. Baron will spawn in just a moment, and they might as well grab it on the side.
What a resurgence here in day 2 for Fnatic. They take down King Zone, having such a strong game here against Team Liquid. Feels like they have it in hand. All that's left here is a little bit of Baron dance, and Caps actually is on a ward there, though.
They know what Caps is up to. They know that he's running interference, and as soon as they see him go over the wall, they've got to know that this is Fnatic's plan. Onto the Baron they go. Tornado comes back over the wall. TP going to be used. Team Liquid wants to fight for this. They know that if they don't, the game will be over for sure. Olleh on the front line, utilizing the Alistar ultimate, getting himself back now, though. Caps staying on the Baron, keeping it low. Team Liquid still trying to stop this when they will get Fnatic to retreat.
It's what a Team Liquid needs. Just delay the game a little bit. Might still get a fight. No, the rest of Fnatic, they are stepping away. They didn't want to risk Xmithie flashing in and potentially stealing the Baron.
Remember, Caps also has that Bloodthirster, so even though it's not a Warmogs, he can walk up to a wave, and it might as well be a couple of Steel Tempests will put him right back at full HP, and Fnatic doesn't look too shy about still finding a fight here.
Yeah, they know time is in their favor. If they just keep Team Liquid around, the minions are going to destroy the base, and Team Liquid all 5 now out on the map.
Liquid's got to make a choice. Olleh goes in, finds the Pulverize onto 2. Damage coming in. It's Hylissang that's the target right now, but that's not the guy you need. Unstoppable Xmithie going to be stopped now by Rekkles' damage. Pobelter also down. A double kill for the Fnatic AD carry as Impact stands alone behind enemy lines. Olleh tries to hobble away from this one, but the pillar will provide the quadra kill for Rekkles. DoubleLift tries to jump away, but the winner's fight comes down.
He's on his way.
To take him out. They want to give this to Rekkles. They want the pin to kill, but Caps takes it away.
The Team Liquid, they knew they had to try and force a fight here or the game would just end. But Fnatic, they were ready for it, and of course they destroyed him.
They're 2-0 on the day. They looked impressive in both wins, and you've got to be happy about this one for Fnatic.
Seemed like Caps is like, oh, maybe he'll crit me again. I gotta finish him up now.
Sorry, guys.
Sorry.
Maybe the timer as well. He's like, listen, it's not going to be a real penta anyway. I can just grab this one.
Guys, come on. We need to win the game. Don't worry about these side objectives. I'll just get rid of this guy here. Still, if your biggest problem in the game was Rekkles only got a quadra kill, you're feeling pretty good as Fnatic.
And it fits that it's Caps getting the last kill off the game, because this Yasuo pick, blind pick by him in the draft, there is no real answer from Team Liquid side to try and shut it down. And while in the early game we saw trades back and forth, the moment he got that first kill and he went back and got a few items, he just took over the game. And it's so tough to deal with this champion if it's played really, really well. And let's be honest here, like Caps, together with Mabel, they're the 2 best performing players at this tournament right now.
Yeah, definitely a lot of credit to him. I think as well, Bwipo, you know, this guy is the substitute for Fnatic. Came in, and even though, you know, there was a CS deficit early on because of some
no flash
early shenanigans, exactly, no flash as well, he made a lot of very important map movements for the team.
Both of the solo laners succeeding wildly in their lanes, and not just in those lanes, but out of them as well. I want to go back to what you guys talked about with, yeah, Impact's got the lead. Impact has lane control. He should be in a great spot in this 1v1, but Bwipo says, okay, I don't care about 1v1. I'm going to go help the team, and so many of those early decisive fights, Bwipo was there, Impact was not, and it just showed how you can enable yourself even if you're not in that great spot in the 1v1.
Very true, and it's so tough for Team Liquid. 0-4. Now, you already had the thing where earlier your support stepped out, he comes back in. Yes, Team Liquid, 4. Might get ruined tomorrow, who knows?
Maybe. We can hope that that number stays as a 4 for a long, long time. But you never know. Team Liquid does look like a team that is struggling with a lot of things right now, and they've got quite a few things that they need to approach and fix.
Yeah, I mean, whenever you have someone electing not to play in one of the games, there's a lot more things that you know, we start to think about, and there's got to be more underlying issues. So maybe we'll find out, maybe we'll never will, but it's definitely a rough tournament for them so far. Everybody else, though, still has eyes on the future.
Definitely true. There's a party, and right now, Team Liquid, they're not invited.
But Fnatic is. Fnatic started the same way Team Liquid did on day number 1. 0-2 for both of the Western teams, but Fnatic bounces back today. They take down the team that everybody was saying was the super team, the favorite to win the entire thing. They prove that they're mortals, and then at the same time, they win the rivalry match, and they're looking very strong heading into day 3.
Oh yeah, I mean, every discussion on social media and Reddit yesterday was about how terrible Europe is because Fnatic could dominate there, and now they went 0-2. Today they took down Kingston and Team Liquid, so I'm very interested to see what the conversations look like now that Fnatic actually showing up.
Let's see where the flip-floppers end up, but for now, for more on Fnatic's win, let's head over to Shox, who's ready with the AD